So Sinton's corner for Queen's Park Rangers, floated in towards the near post there, and knocked in there by Bailey. Wegley right up there. No, not Wegley, it's Peacock right up there. There's Peacock up again. It might come to Limpar. It comes to Merson. They've saved it in the last seconds. It deflected off a Rangers defender, but Merson's shot finds the back of the net.
A bit of a soft touch, and Palmer able to feed Hurst, who brings it onto his left foot. What a start to the season for David Hurst, and what a start for Wednesday. Hurst on that left foot. Oh, how does he get out of some of these situations? And he sets off like a greyhound from the trap again. Superbly done. A chance for number 2. Beautifully struck by Danny Wilson. But enormous credit to David Hurst. And it looks a good one as well, and a difficult flap, and the ball's in the net for Aston Villa, and Cyril Regis has his first goal for Villa on his debut. Richardson's loop ball is aimed at Atkinson. Force for Regis, brilliant ball from Regis to Mortimer. He can make it 2-2 here. Fine save, but Atkinson's there. And it's just the return that Dalen Atkinson would have dreamed of. 2 Wednesday men have gone on the line. Spink can't come for this one. Oh, appeals for handball, not given, and the referee was right. It struck him in the chest. And it's Villa's turn to come on the charge, and Atkinson, it's going to be 1 against 1 here. Chris Woods waits, and it's squared for Staunton, and Steve Staunton strikes what might well prove to be a winner for Villa.
£50 million changed hands on transfer deals during the summer, and Chelsea's contribution was their expensive imports from Scotland, Paul Elliott and Tommy Boyd, bought in at a total cost of £2.2 million. The Dons, playing in their black and white away kit, took the lead after 24 minutes through John Fashanu, showing the kind of finishing that brought him 20 goals last season. From then on, it was over to the new boys. 10 minutes before half-time, Elliott pulled Chelsea level with a looping header over a rather flat-footed Hans Segers. Elliott scored 5 times for Celtic last season, but it was his defensive qualities which really caught the eye. Now that he's playing in the capital, he'll certainly come into consideration for an England cap, and his power in the air is a valuable asset at set pieces. Into the second half, and it's the turn of Wimbledon's debutant to make his mark. Robbie Earle ghosting in at the far post for his new club. Earle scored 11 times from midfield for Port Vale last season. But 4 minutes before time, Chelsea grabbed a share of the points thanks to another new face. Their substitute, Joe Allen, was an unheralded acquisition from Hartlepool, but he made a big impression on the Stamford Bridge fans. Was it by fair means or foul, though? A look from behind the goal suggests that Allen's forearm may have got the final touch. West Ham were hoping for a flying start on their return to the First Division, but Luton Town, with their former manager David Pleat back in charge, were a hard nut to crack. In the first half, Alec Chamberlain kept the scores level with a series of outstanding saves. That one from Martin Allen. When the teams came out for the second half, it was the Hatters, not the Hammers, who came closest. 22-year-old Sean Farrell picks the ball up deep, and his long shot catches Ludek Miklosko off guard, but the youngster's effort crashing against the crossbar. In the end, it was an undistinguished and unsatisfactory performance from the East Londoners, and in the final minutes, the normally reliable George Parris summed up their afternoon, miscuing from short range. No goals at Upton Park. Southampton and Tottenham begin the season under new management, Ian Branfoot and Peter Shreeves respectively. Alan Shearer got the Saints' new regime off to a cracking start with the quickest goal of the day after 2 minutes. It took Spurs the rest of the first half to recover, but 5 minutes before half-time, Paul Stewart set up Gary Lineker from close range, and the England captain opened his account. In the second half, Spurs grabbed the initiative, and Lineker's new striking partner, Gordon Jury, became another first-time scorer. He scrambled home Stewart's cross, with Lineker avoiding the offside by staying off the field of play. 70 minutes gone, and the travelling Spurs supporters learning to live without Paul Gascoigne. 2 minutes later, Tottenham made sure of the points. Stewart stealing the ball from Matthew Letitia and feeding Lineker, whose speed and coolness took him past his defender and Tim Flowers to score his second. Lineker at 30 is as sharp as ever. The Saints did pull one back, and under controversial circumstances. Richard Hall's header is parried by Erik Torsved, but the officials were convinced by Hall's claims that the ball had crossed the line. Torsved wasn't impressed, but Spurs won 3-2. Norwich City paid almost $1 million for Darren Beckford, the Port Vale striker, but Dave Bassett's budget doesn't stretch that far. Brian Deane caught England manager Graham Taylor's eye last season and won his first international caps on the tour of Australia. He grabbed his first goal of the season after just 3 minutes. Norwich couldn't break through the Sheffield defence, and in the second half went further behind. There were only 17 minutes to go when Colin Hill's 25-yarder crept inside the post beyond the outstretched Brian Gunn. United's celebrations suggested they thought the hard work was already done, but within a minute Norwich had struck back. David Phillips' cross falls to Robert Fleck, and with 2 confident touches the ball is in the back of the net. Fleck only scored 9 goals last season, but earned a place in Scotland's international team. It seems this year could be his most productive to date. The Carrow Road supporters certainly hope so. In the final minutes, he earned Norwich a point with a spectacular volley from outside the box. Norwich City 2, Sheffield United 2.
Just over 8 minutes played. Rick Holden with the corner. Beyond Grobbelaar this time, and turned in by Barrett. And Oldham are in front. Ablett. Saunders. Barnes. Now Saunders on his way. Jobson trying to hold him up. And does so with the block. Barnes though. It's there. Ray Houghton it is, who's got the equaliser for Liverpool. McManaman. Dean Saunders again. Way by Gunnar Haller this time. Ray Houghton, who's had such an impact in the second half. Mark Walters now with space. Little flick by McManaman. Barnes, 2-1.
It's 25 seasons since Manchester United won the league title, but they have big ambitions this year. Victory over Barcelona in the Cup Winners' Cup final has fueled their self-belief, and Notts County were on the receiving end after 39 minutes. Mark Hughes redirecting David Regis' misguided header. In the second half, Brian Robson secured the points with the best goal of the day. Sweetly hit on the volley from 20 yards, as if to remind the visitors that they're in the big league now. And with apologies to Notts County, that's worth a second look. Perhaps the biggest gamble of all the close season investments was the £2.5 million Manchester City paid Wimbledon for their centre-half Keith Curle. He had a solid enough game, but Niall Quinn was the match winner. City's first attack of the day, Quinn beaten here, but he was soon back on his feet. In the meantime, Coventry's Ray Woods lost possession to Neil Poynton, David White with the cross, and Quinn won it this time. Coventry City were a big disappointment to their home crowd, and after Stuart Robson collided with Steve Ogrizovic, only Trevor Peake's outstretched foot stopped them going further behind. But the game was already lost. Brian Clough splashed out 1.4 million on the central defender Carl Tyler from Barnsley, and he may have reason to be thankful for that extra cover, because after just 8 minutes, the England international Des Walker was forced out of the game with a strained leg muscle. Walker's importance to Forest defence was underlined just before half-time, when their failure to clear a loose ball let in Robert Varzika wide and unmarked. His low cross deflected into his own net by Stuart Pearce. Varzika tried to claim the goal, but there can be little doubt that the ball wouldn't have beaten Mark Crossley without Pearce's intervention. It was Nigel Clough who pulled Forest level on the hour after a desperate scramble in the Everton 6-yard box. A draw would probably have been a fair result, but 3 minutes before the end, Forest engineered the winner. A typical Forest move as well. Nigel Clough involved 3 times in this goal. Charles got the ball wide on the right. And watch for Clough getting involved again, playing the vital ball to Nigel Jensen. A lucky rebound off Martin Keown, and Neville Southall stranded. A good win for Forest.